actually one of the first songs I wanted to ask you. One of the first things I want to ask you. Uh, what made you turn to Jesus in your songs?
Well, 10 years ago, I mean, let's back it all the way up to like when I was like 8, 9 years old, vacation Bible school, went to church on Wednesday nights, Sunday mornings, and Sunday nights. So I stayed in church. It was like
Yeah,
school and church. I was raised in church. My mom was the secretary at the church. And I spent a lot of time in church, and I loved Jesus as a child. And
yeah,
I remember going to a vacation Bible school and like really feeling that church community, godly presence around me, and it felt really good. And I wanted to get baptized, so I got baptized
yeah,
at Bible school, and I had a real close relationship with God until I got around probably the wrong people, the wrong influences, and my relationship with God started to grow apart. And then, I wound up getting into some trouble when I was like 14 years old, and I was just like real rebellious. I came up in a household of trauma when I was like four, right at between 4 and 5 years old. My older sister died in a motorcycle wreck, and so did her husband, both of them like in the same accident. And my parents took guardianship of their son, which was my nephew, and he was a few years older than me. And I never really put a lot of thought into it until I got older, and I had lost someone really close to me that I started to think about what kind of trauma my family was going through when I was a young kid, to lose a child, and to not only lose a child, and my sister was older, like she was 27
yeah,
when I was 4. So big age gap, which is why my nephew was 3 years older than me. But I grew up in a family that was traumatized by a family death, and then they took in my nephew, and he was older than me, and he kind of influenced me a little earlier than probably what I should have been to a lot of things, which kind of like put me down the path that I continued for a very long time. But it's not his fault,
yeah,
It's like, when trauma happens, things happen, and then you just kind of roll with it. And I have no regrets. Like everything in my life, whether it was a blessing or whether it was a mistake, I learned to take my mistakes, turn them into lessons. That way I don't have to live with my mistakes. I can just learn from them. So